Gabe, can you shut the door and be quiet? I have an event.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Is my lighting good?
Yeah, yours is good. Mine's a little not, but that's okay.
All right, so let's
Okay.
see. Can you make me things so I can
Yep. Let's see.
figure this out again?
Can. There you go. Yeah, and that worked just fine last time. It went to my cloud, so yeah.
I gotta find it again.
Hello, iPhone.
Oh man.
Um,
Why is this so confusing for me?
it's okay. All right, what are you looking for? I can help you. Is it the
There we go. I
find
opened
it?
it
Okay.
before okay, now I gotta share. And now I can do the
Sure.
presentation.
And then don't forget to record.
Oh, I thought you were already recording. It said recording in progress when I got on.
Oh, it is. Look at that. Ha, hello.
Okay,
Yeah, I must have set this one to automatically record. That works.
good.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, ready whenever you are.
Are we early?
Oh,
What
I guess
time?
yeah, we're early. I guess we should wait. Hold the
Okay.
phone. It's only 57.
Yeah.
How are you liking your hair? Like, I love it.
I like it a lot. And I'm like, you can't, I don't know if you can see, but there's a whole bunch of these like longer strands.
Uh-huh.
That's the hair that is growing back from not burning it off with chemicals when I color it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
really, really pretty.
it's definitely healthier and
Mhm.
easier.
Easier. I'm sure. Because with short hair, you have to keep maintaining it. At least long hair, I don't have to maintain that much.
Right. It
Yeah.
is, I love the like the style since it's basically like all one length with just layers.
Hmm.
My hair person, something happened with her mom and I couldn't get in with her for like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez.
I was just fine.
Huh, well,
So
good.
that was good. Yeah. Yes.
Good, good. The rice in this picture looks almost like the rice that you had in your lunch.
Yes. My lunch was yummy, by the
I
way.
was gonna say, how was it?
It was yummy. It's very,
Yeah, I know.
mhm.
I think I need to try that recipe.
Yeah. I have had, so I've shared like these in my email group,
Hmm.
and my neighbor makes some of them and doesn't like, she just makes it all in one thing. She doesn't
Oh,
separate it
okay.
into
Uh-huh.
for her family. So
Hmm.
seems to work well.
Right? I mean, that's the point. Like, figure out what works. Because we
Yeah.
all do different things. Yeah. Oh, hi, Lucy.
Oh, hi, Lucy. I want to open the chat too so I can see. I didn't do
Oh,
that.
yeah. I got that too. Can you see both while you're presenting them?
Um,
Either
yeah,
way, I'll keep an eye on it too.
okay.
Yeah.
Just gotta move it over. All right. We'll start in 1 minute.
Mhm.
My clock says 6:59.
Yep. 1 minute. Mhm. I love it.
Yep.
And then after we get off here, then I gotta go make dinner.
Oh,
I was like, we have a ton of leftovers. Like we should just have leftovers.
yeah. I changed my plan for tonight.
Did you?
Yeah, because the one I wanted to do was just going to take a little bit too much time.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I switched. So you can do that.
I love that. All right.
Yeah.
It
All
is.
right. So it is 7 o'clock. So we will get started. I want to thank you all for coming. Chelsea and I are super excited to share how to make meal prep super easy for you. And we discovered recently that we do very different things. So that's kind of interesting too. No, there's no one way to do meal prep. You just have to find what works for you. I know for me, I was just really stressed with trying to figure out what to make for dinners every night. And I don't know about anybody else, but if I say to my family, what do you want for dinner tonight? They have no suggestions for me, which is also very frustrating. But my biggest issue was lunch because if I come home, I only typically have like 20, 30 minutes in between clients where I have to grab something quick and easy. And I was finding myself either grabbing something that was really not healthy or not eating enough. And I was really hungry for the rest of the day. So I needed to find something, and I discovered meal prep, and it has really, really helped. I am definitely less stressed. It's grown. Tried different things and finally found something that seems to work for me. So that's what I'm going to be sharing. Um, but basically, really, we just want to show you tonight how meal prep can reduce your stress, help you eat better, keep your energy up, um, just make life easier, really. So Chelsea is gonna, oops, why did it do that? That did that last time too. We don't want to say thank you yet.
Not yet.
We have to go back through all of them. I do know that.
Yeah, that's okay.
There
Let
we
me
go.
preview, a real quick preview.
Yeah,
All
perfect.
right. Yeah, so I'm Chelsea. I'm actually a certified personal trainer with NASM, certified in nutrition, and I've also taken official bodybuilding meal prep class. And so whether you're bodybuilding or you're just, busy women like us who have frustrations when it comes to mealtime, there are really so many reasons to meal prep. And so the biggest one, at least for me, so I have 5 kids. Um, just decision fatigue. Like it helps me to reduce that decision fatigue because the less that I have to make decisions on the spot, the easier it makes my life. And so that's probably the biggest one. Less stress. Dinner time became our bottleneck of stress. Because we would get to dinner and be like, what are we gonna make? Everyone's hungry. I'm hungry. What are we gonna eat? So I know Karen said lunch for her. It was dinner for us. That was the biggest one. And so I started meal planning and prepping for dinner. And then it helps us to support our health goals. Most of my kids are in one sport or another. And so it supports them. It supports their growing and developing bodies. We're going to teach you how to build meals, and that's going to help have that other layer of supporting your health goals. And then it really does help you to be more intentional with your eating because you're taking the time to plan it out. You're not just grabbing things and going. You're actually thinking through what's going to fuel your body. You're thinking through what does your day look like or your week look like. And it just overall gives you a better perspective to be able to implement something that works well for you. And as Karen said, we don't do things the same way, but we've found what's worked for us. And so through all of this, you're going to hear us keep saying that we just encourage you to figure out what works for you and start small because the benefits, I mean, we only listed a few here, but the benefits are endless when you get into a good cycle of something that you can do consistently that does reduce that stress. So, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you some of my favorite tools that I use. And again, everybody's different, so feel free to add in the chat if you already do a little bit of meal prep and you have something else that you like. One of my favorite things is this food scale. Um, it is pretty cheap on Amazon. I got mine. The benefit of a food scale, though, is that it is much more accurate when you are prepping things and trying to make things even than, you know, 20 grams versus a cup. It's just a whole lot easier. Another couple things that I recommend are oven-safe glass bowls. You can get meal prep. If you Google or look on Amazon for glass meal prep bowls, there's a whole bunch of them. They need to be oven safe and they need to have a lid. And they're super, if you get them all the same like this, they're very stackable, which makes them they fit very well in your refrigerator. I also like these little ramekins because these are great for something little like chia pudding or baked oats if you want that for breakfast. Um, Knife and cutting board, that's pretty self-explanatory why you would need those. But if you need to chop a whole bunch of things all at once, these things, if you don't have one of these, this is absolutely amazing. You just put this in this little spot, slam it down, collects everything. You can chop like 3 peppers in here in absolutely no time. Um, Another good idea is freezer bags because you can, well, I'll talk about this a little bit later possibly, but I love sheet pan meals. And Chelsea likes to batch meats. So for both of those things, it's a really good idea to have freezer bags and you can put all of the ingredients for your dinner in a bag on Monday, and then on Wednesday, just pull it out, throw it in the crock pot, throw it in the oven, whatever you do. Um, and dinner is halfway done. All you have to do is cook it. The last thing I want to share is, again, you can search for your own, but you can do weekly, because I like to plan weekly. Um, this one has, like the days of the week down the side and then spots for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. It's very important, in my opinion, to do the snacks because, again, when you're hungry and you want to reach for something, then you have something healthy instead of just grabbing those potato chips. This is another option, which it's a little bit smaller, but this one has a grocery list along the side of it, which is also very nice. Um, so along those lines, like I said, I plan every week. So I will go sit down on Saturday and figure out what I want to have for mostly lunches, dinners, and snacks. Breakfast for me is always the same. And and then on Sunday, I'll go to the grocery store, buy all of the stuff, and then spend, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours in the kitchen Sunday night making everything in those little containers, and I just put it in the refrigerator, and I am ready to go. You have to be a little bit flexible. Chelsea and I were just talking before we came on. I had something planned for dinner tonight, but I didn't have quite enough time, so I just looked down through the rest of the week, and I'm just going to swap things around. That's not a big problem um, you know, to just be flexible. Everybody has to be flexible. And just remember, like, there really is no right or wrong way to meal prep. You just find what works for you. So, because we were just talking about it, this is my week. And I usually only plan Monday through Friday. I should have said that earlier too. And then because it's easier on weekends, I'm not quite as busy to try to figure out what I want to eat those days. But I will say I often just go to the store and grab a rotisserie chicken, and that's what I eat for lunch all day. Put it in a salad or whatever. That's pretty easy. Breakfast for me is always a smoothie because they're easy, they're healthy, and I can drink it on the go if I need to. Lunch is usually, well, this week it's going to be the Greek pita bowl, which is I was making it last night. I was so excited for lunch today because it looked absolutely delicious. Sometimes I'm going to pop something else in here real quick. If I'm on the go, I like these meal bars because they are uh, full of protein and they'll help keep me full. And then dinner, like I said, is different. So I was supposed to have the caprese chicken stuffed peppers, but I didn't do that. Instead, I made the shrimp, the sheet pan shrimp. It was delicious. Um, so Chelsea is going to share with you how to build your meals.
Yeah. So, and I was just going to share quick too. Like my meal prep and planning looks different than Karen. So actually, a while ago, I would plan out my whole month, but then what I found was when we would get to the week, we weren't feeling anything that we had originally planned. And so we started just doing the weekly. And so actually, for me, every Sunday night, I will plan the next week, and then I grocery shop on usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those days. And so what I do is I will batch cook dinner. So if we're having tacos, I'll just double the meat and then, or double whatever it is I'm making. And then when I go to put leftovers away, I'll put it into individual glass containers with sealed lids, like the click seals. And then my kids will just grab those and take those for their lunch at school. And then I have them at home. We just warm them up. The kids have a microwave at school. And so that's worked really, really well for us. So as we said, like find what works for you and stick with it. And you don't have to go big because I think that's the problem many people make is they just think like, oh, I gotta have this elaborate like meal prepping, like I have to do it once a week or every few days, and it's got to be super elaborate. And then you're like, well, I don't want to eat this on day 5, right? So figure out what works for you. But the biggest thing to think about when you're building your meals out is to always start with your protein and then build around it. And you can batch cook your proteins and your grains. So if you say you're doing chicken, a bunch of chicken-based dishes for the week, you can cook all of your chicken at once. You can do like a grill day. Actually, my mother-in-law does that. They'll do a grill day where Sundays they'll grill a bunch of meat, and then that is what they build their meals around during the rest of the week. And when it comes to grains, I do say like especially like rice, if you're planning to reheat and you're making it in advance, make sure that you're going to add some liquid to it because it can dry out and get kind of weird after a couple days. So I wouldn't keep that on hand pre-made. But again, see what works for you in that. But just understand that if you're reheating it and it's super dry, add some more liquids, like have some chicken broth or something to add to it. And then you can mix and match. So if you make a few different proteins or if you have a few different vegetables, like mix and match them with the recipes for the week. And then just make sure, as we said, give yourself grace, be flexible, and focus on making sure that you're nourished because that's the most important part. So that's where protein is important because it's going to help you to feel full longer. Um, when we look at fruits and veggies that have fiber in them, that's going to help your digestion. That's going to help you to feel full longer. And then color is always really important to incorporate because that's going to give you the nutrient density when it comes to antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and having a good start of the foundation for your nutrition because it really is about how you feel after you eat, not necessarily what you eat, because not everybody is the same, and things that fuel you well and make you feel your best might not work for me. And so understand what you like. What are the flavors that you like? So if you don't like spicy things, I don't recommend building meals that are super spicy or trying recipes that are super spicy, right? So understand what works for you, understand what foods your bodies react well to, and what they don't, and avoid those. Even though a crazy influencer says this is the best meal ever, if it has things in it that don't work for you, then don't try those recipes. And try recipes, test them before you incorporate them into a whole week because you don't want to have a whole week of meals and then you find out, I really don't like this. So always test your recipes first and keep the winners that you love in rotation.
So, like I said, I have the same thing for breakfast every morning. It is always a smoothie. But I want to add protein to that smoothie so that it helps me stay full for the whole entire morning. Um, I will tell you, I saw an article, I think it was in Newsweek recently, that not all protein is the same. Sadly, there's protein out there that has metal in it and carcinogens. So you really want to do your research when you are buying protein. My favorite is the Shaklee Life Shake. I like it because I know that that company tests all of their ingredients multiple times before they allow it to go out for consumption. It is also well, it's obviously very high quality because they do all of that testing. It's non-GMO. It also has leucine in it, which is phenomenal because that not only helps you to lose weight, but it helps you build muscle, which is very important. It has 24 vitamins and minerals, so it's helping you fill in those nutrient gaps that you might have. It has the fiber, which, like Chelsea was just saying, your body needs that fiber and prebiotics for your gut health. Um, but protein is not just for shakes. So you can also, I like to make protein balls. Remember, I was telling you about those snacks. That's one of my favorites. And I have to make a very large batch of that usually because they go very fast in my family. We also have collagen, which I wanted to talk about a little bit because that is really helpful for like joints and bones, and it also helps with your skin, your hair, your nails. It has so many benefits, but you can also add that into things too. Like I have a really good recipe for collagen brownie if anybody wants it. It is absolutely delicious. Um, so yeah, so I also like some other proteins too. Like I like cottage cheese. That's like a big thing right now. You can find recipes for that all over the place where you puree it so that it's super creamy, and then you can add some protein powder to that also to boost that protein up. Chicken, shrimp, those are all my favorite proteins too, but we already talked about all of those. So that is it. That is our information. I just wanted to leave you with a couple of reminders. Meal prep means less stress and healthier meals. There's just no way around that. There's no right or wrong way. You do what works for you. I also suggest that you start slow. Maybe start with just breakfasts. Maybe you're gonna figure out that you want a shake and oatmeal or eggs. Just plan it out for 1 week. And then if that goes well, then, add in lunch or add in dinner. Or maybe you start with dinner because dinner's, something that everybody's going to eat. That kind of was the harder one for me for some reason. Um, and above all, just give yourself grace because it is very beneficial, but it does take some time sometimes to figure it all out. And of course, if you have questions, just please, message me or Chelsea or whoever invited you here tonight, and they would be more than happy um, to give you some suggestions. And so, because we want to help you as much as possible, and protein is really easy, we thought it would be a really good idea to offer you if you purchase one 28-ounce serving of the protein or two of the 14-ounce, that gives you two different flavors, then we will send you a whole bunch of meal prep recipes. So let us know if you are interested in that. The people who invited you here will be checking in with you, see what you thought of the presentation. Um, and let's see. Yeah. So I guess I will stop sharing here real quick, and then we'll take any questions that you guys have. Anybody have any questions or anything that they want to share?
I have a question.
Okay. Hi, Glenn.
So, hi. So, like when you guys do meat meal prep, do you flavor it or do you keep it like unflavored so you can use it in different recipes, or do you just do like all Mexican spices and then do all Mexican meals or something?
Yeah.
I tend to add the spices. I don't know. What do you do, Chelsea?
Well, because I know, because Karen makes hers, like hers are individual, like she makes them each meal in the glass container. Whereas for me, like I'll make a big batch of something. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah. So usually like I mean taco meat is so versatile. Like if I make a huge thing of taco meat, then we can have nachos and taco salads and burritos and quesadillas and like and actual tacos, right? Like so
Yeah.
many things. And so something like that. It just depends. Like you could I know there are people who will cook up just plain ground beef seasoned with like salt and pepper and then you could throw it into your chili or your spaghetti or
Okay.
whatever it is and add your spices later. One thing I didn't mention earlier that is probably a really good idea is make sure food safety. So everything is being cooked like Google food safety when it comes to temperatures for meats, especially. Karen had talked about cutting boards and knives, making sure you're not cross-contaminating. Like if you're making chicken, like don't switch over to now cutting your steak on the same board because they have different internal cooking temperatures. So just making sure you're following those. So, because I mean, we're doing this to be healthy. We don't want to make ourselves sick.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a question or a comment?
This is so helpful. Thank you for doing this. I've never done prepping, believe it or not. So I was excited you guys were teaching on this tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It has really made my life so much less stressful.
Okay. Mine too.
Yeah. I was also one of those people that would go to the grocery store like once a month, and this forces me to go like once a week. So I don't spend as much time at the grocery store either, which is also very helpful.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Same.
All right. Well, Thank you for coming. And like I said, if you have any questions, just contact whoever invited you. All
Awesome.
right. You guys have a great night.
So
Thanks.
good. You bye.
Bye.
Bye.